Hey, wait. We are
I see.
back, mate.
I wasn't ready for that. I totally forgot that it was the short version. So I was like, oh well.
It's always that short version now, mate. Always. Welcome back, guys, to another episode of the AKM podcast. I'm in a joyous mood today, Seano, especially after yesterday. I'll say that.
Yeah. I won't lie to you. I've got a bad back, but by Jesus, I didn't have a bad back this morning. I even got up early, and I was doing a kind of a bit of strut, a bit of dancing, putting a bit of music and whatever, singing Blue Moon. It's a great old song. Blue Moon. Oh, I love it. I fucking love it. I'm thrilled to bits. It was such a. I was out in the pub watching it. Amazing. All right, Jen.
Evening, Jen. Hope you're well.
Just fantastic. Just love watching Pep. Just thinking I need another 200 million to throw. At the transfer window because I can't.
Well, we'll get to that. So I know you. I know you want to. What is it? Talk about the article that came out from Paul Joycey Boy today. So we'll discuss that, mate. Did we film what, Jen? Is that the I can't remember what's that, Jen? I have to let us know about that, love. Right there, Scott, mate. Hope you're well. So I picked the wrong one. So yeah, Sean, I guess go on, I'll let you talk about the football game for a bit because obviously I did my match reaction yesterday, so there's no need for me to talk about it.
Well, I mean, I to be honest with you, Slabasai is really coming into his own over the last number of weeks. I think that guy is, if they keep him at the club, he'll cement himself in the Liverpool folklore. That's how much I rate him. I think he played very, very well. The first 10 minutes of the game, obviously a little bit nervy. We weren't too sure about the whole lineup. The lineup was a bit of a, like, you didn't know who was playing what, and like I thought Diaz was going to play in the number 9 position, but it looked like he wasn't.
Yeah.
So I was a little puzzled by that, but
I think when I saw the lineup and stuff like that, I was like, oh, is it Jones or is it Szoboszlai going down the middle? But it was, I think it was like a rotation, wasn't it? Me and Gavin were talking about it earlier.
Yeah.
And we said it was like he was doing like a double one where one went in and one came out. So he didn't really play with number 9. But again, the fact he didn't play with number 9, I think that says a lot for Darwin Núñez. I mean, he had the comment, didn't he, about Jota saying that Jota wasn't fit enough. Jota said he wasn't fit enough to play, but then he didn't go with Núñez. That says it all for me.
And I mean, I felt sorry. I feel sorry in a way for Núñez. And I mean, I know that the fans, when they saw him out in the field, they were like, clapping him and whatever. And, he went like this. And I'm sure it means an awful lot to him. But I mean, it's a cutthroat business. If you don't perform, you don't perform. And it wasn't meant to be. And, at the end of the summer, like, he's given us some funny memories, some good memories. He scored some important goals. I'll be wishing him the best. Hopefully he won't be playing for any rival club and then finding his aim there. But, it just didn't work out for him.
No, it's not all. Let's catch up on some of these comments, mate. So Bolden says, yesterday reminded him of a Benitez Champions League away game masterclass. Solid. Yeah, I can pitch that as well, mate.
Yeah.
Gavin says, even Adam and Sean, my mum asked me earlier where the TV remote, and I said Liverpool, and she said what? And I said top of the table.
Brilliant.
Did you record yourself singing Blue Moon, Sean?
I did.
Bolden again yesterday highlighted the kind of number 9 the gaffer wants. Does not trust Jota or Núñez. Yeah, I guess that it did show that.
I'm not too sure whether he doesn't trust Jota. I don't think he certainly doesn't trust Núñez.
Yeah. When we go to PSG, I'd imagine we see the same setup. Depends again, mate. If Jota's fit, as Sean I just mentioned, then could we have seen a different team if Jota had been fit and ready to go? Jen reckons, and I said John then, sorry, Jen. Jen reckons, unfortunately, he hasn't cut it at Liverpool, which is in regard to Nunes.
Yeah.
Copyright Callum, we won 2-0 at Etihad. Imagine if we rung on a 9. I know. Yeah, I mean, I did that transfer video, didn't I? And I listed a couple on there to we should probably look at this summer. I mean, Jonathan David is definitely an FSG signing, free transfer. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah.
You should definitely watch it, guys. It's a fantastic video. Those who have not watched it, it's 45 minutes long, but fantastic video.
It was good. I enjoyed doing it again. I think I'm going to start making that like a fortnightly thing, guys, where I do like a topic. I might put it up for you guys to pick what you want me to do or something like that, and I'll do a topic based on that, and it gives me like a week to prep for it then. So yeah, I might do something like that, everything going forward. Copyright Callum, Baleba and Lukaba linked. Yeah, I did a video on that Lukaba yesterday. It was linked to pretty much everyone. It was like Chelsea, Man United, fucking your kitchen sink were all chucked in there. It sounds like someone's trying to get something going for him. I think he's got a release clause as well as that of like 60 odd million. For me, if I was looking at something for centre back coming in, the one that's been named a fair bit by the journalists, shall we say, that we believe in is that Hussein at Bournemouth. So keep your eye on that kid as well. As well with the Bournemouth link as well, 100%. Mate, I mean, we've been linked with 2 Bournemouth players already, like Kirkez and Hussein. So let's see what happens.
Would that be down to the fantastic and wonderful and ever present and ever active Richard Hughes?
Oh yeah, 100%, mate, 100%.
Of course, yeah.
We got Richard the Red with us. Hello. How are you doing, pal?
Hello.
Scott. It's been written on the wall for Nunes now. Slot has shown again, though, through his tactical prowess, how many times he tweaks the formation and always gets it right. I won't lie to you. Again, when Seano was saying in the first 10 minutes of that match, I was like, fucking hell, Trent again. But there's a point actually I want to like mention about Trent, but we'll get to that in a bit when we've caught up with all this. It's not mine. It's from Lawrence McKenna. I was listening to his video when I was on my way to office today, and he brought up something about Trent, and I was like, if that's true, then I do see it in a different light, the whole Trent thing right now. So Jen says our defense was solid yesterday. The false 9s yesterday, tactic was beautiful, 100%.
Beautiful.
So yeah, this Trent thing. So basically, Lawrence McKenna said, I've got nothing to go off by this, but he reckoned that Trent may be playing with an injury, and we'll only find out whether he is or he isn't if he goes for surgery once the season's ended. And he basically said that could be the reason why we haven't seen Trent sign a contract for Real Madrid, and the reason why Liverpool are not willing to pay him what he wants, because he can't complete games. Like if he's coming in saying, I want 300k or whatever, and Liverpool are like, hold on a minute, lad, like you can't even finish a game of football. Why would we give you 300k for 5 years? It doesn't make no sense.
They're fucking giving 150k to fucking Chiesa.
Yeah, but that was yeah.
Fucking Mr. Snooze. There's Mighty Red. All right, Brandon, how are you?
Is that in relation to Lawrence McKenna, Brandon? Because I saw it on his video. That's where I saw that, mate. And I don't know, like it was an interesting point, because I think, in all fairness, if that's what it is, then I can understand Liverpool and I can understand Real Madrid, but I guess you wouldn't find out until the end of the season. So we'll have to just wait and see. But it was a good thing. What would your thoughts be if it turned out that Trent was playing with an injury and that's why he'd not been offered a contract by both clubs?
Well, first of all, I'm going to say hello, Anfield Roar. Did you just assume Jen's gender? You get in trouble for that nowadays. How are you, everyone in the chat? I don't really know. I mean, to me, if he's playing, he's playing. He's fit. Do you know what I mean? Unless he's doing a Kanate and pretending he's fit when he's not. I don't know. But, I mean, it's still... I thought he had an all right game after. I mean, I know that you were saying that he, for the first 10 minutes, he wasn't playing all that well.
I don't think he played well all game, but I think Doku had him on toast for the first half of the game.
But he's a very, very good player, Doku. He's a, really, really difficult player. But I don't know whether he's injured or not, Trent. I don't know. Might explain that he's not been up to scratch lately, but I don't know.
Yeah. Scott says here that he may be carrying an injury, but most players this end of the season are carrying injuries / niggles, which is true, I guess. Richard the Red, he watched the whole game and it was a great game, to be honest. The whole team did so well as City looked very dangerous at times. Doku caused a few issues, but he was dealt with. Great game. Yeah, I agree with that. I think when I was saying like Doku had Trent on toast a little bit, I think there was a bit of regarding where he may have done, but he didn't get far with it, did he? He didn't really do much with the ball, so I don't suppose it actually mattered, did it? So
No.
Yeah. All right, Jamie, mate. Hope you're doing well, pal.
All right, Bon.
Right, Bon. You don't believe he's injured? Yeah. As I say, it was an interesting theory that he came up with, and I don't know. I just thought I'd just get you guys' opinion on it. Bolden, well, players play through injuries, injections, etc. Sacrifice for the club. That would be a bit harsh. It feels like the end with Trent. If we do win the league, I feel he's gone, leaving on top. Yeah, probably. Again, the whole injury thing for Trent was not mine. It was Lawrence McKenna, and I just thought it was an interesting snippet that was worth talking about a little bit. So yeah. The energy and closing down was a joy to watch. I mean, did you see Sabozlai like claps at the end of the match just because of how much? But there was a bit before the end of the game when he was stood like, in the center circle, and the ball was like getting passed about, and he just stood there with his hands on his knees a little bit, and then he got back up again.
To be honest with you, I love Slabslai. I think he's amazing. I think he's really, really come into his own now, and hopefully he'll continue that. But yeah, I'd be a little bit worried about his fatigue there, because I think they asked him, did you hear him singing? He's like, I was too tired to hear anybody. So he was, he had a top game.
Well, we're up to Copite Callum. Doku went on the outside. He's shit. Jen, I thought Man City was so poor yesterday. They looked like a poor second to us. They did, but there was something else that got mentioned as well in another video I was listening to this morning, and they were saying, do you think the game would have been different had Haaland been playing?
No, I don't think so.
I don't either, because whenever we've played against City with him playing, we've always kind of like bossed him a little. He hasn't done much against us, has he? To be fair, like, so I wouldn't have been too bothered. Maybe him and Mamouche together would have been a little bit of a, a bit tough.
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, Mamouche didn't really see all that much either. I think we dealt with Mamouche fairly well. Obviously he had that disallowed goal, but other than that, I mean, to be honest with you, I was very surprised to see the stats. I didn't think that they had that many shots. I think we really closed them off. I thought our passing was fantastic, and I don't think Mamouche. Doku, I think, was the only, and I'd have to disagree with you, Callum. I think Doku was or is a good player, and I think he's always difficult. We always have difficulty with him. I don't know whether that's the fact that because he's on the wing, and we're having difficulty on the wing of late, but I think he's a difficult player for us. That's my opinion, anyway.
There was a couple of things actually I wanted to share about the game.
I don't always agree with people.
Stav, evening lads. Thought Robertson had a good game.
Yeah,
he too bad. Too bad. Probably one of his better games, I'd say. I thought he was looking up to get a booking earlier on at the same time, like because he did do it. He did. There was that one where he kind of pushed that Man City lad in his face, and I was like, we should have probably got a booking there. Doku is fortunately lacked end product yet. Richard the Red, Doku was the only one that stuck out for City. Agreed.
Yeah.
Callum, Mamouche is their best player. Yeah, he is. His stats wise as well. Like I think he's up there in like players in Europe this season. Well, like, I think he's just behind Salah, so he's not done too bad. That's why we were heavily linked to him, but didn't do it. Anfield Raw. Trent winning a 1-on-1 is like an old man trying to get hard or something. He's trying hard.
Just some good comments there.
Watching Doku is like watching Forrest Gump. Yeah, that's a good one as well. Scott, I don't think we'd have wanted as many crosses in the box if Haaland was on the pitch. Yeah, I kind of agree with that as well. Brandon, Doku is like a bodybuilder, looks super impressive, but then he pulls his trousers down and there's an 1 inch between.
That's brilliant, Brandon. That's very funny.
Doku is like Adama Traore, all speed,
Yeah.
no products. Yeah, that was. I wonder when he's going to start whipping out the baby oil like Traore did.
Oh,
no, did he?
Jesus.
Bon. I was surprised when Pep signed a 2-year deal, but I think Pep will walk away in the summer. I'd be surprised. I don't know. I think it depends because they've got their own issues as well with contracts. Like Kevin De Bruyne's out of contract to end at season. So,
yeah.
You know. Bolden, one of our best performances as a whole team since 2022, especially defensively. What do you reckon? I think since Slot's come in, we've been a hell of a lot better defensively overall. Like, when Klopp was in, it was always end-to-end football. Like, who can score the most, blah blah blah, would win the game, and that was one of the first things we picked up on, wasn't it, when we first started the this stuff going on. With the whole Slot era, it was how better we were defensively. So, there's that old saying, isn't there? Like, defenses win titles. So, there's a reason why we're at the top of the Prem. 0-3, 0-2 in Manchester this season. Owners of Manchester, yeah. Maka, Saab, and Grav work tirelessly. Saab is really starting to get consistent and persisting to get the ball back quickly. His speed is very fast closing down. Same with Maka as well, Kanate and Van Dijk. The lads were on it. Yeah, I think Szoboszlai has really, really stepped up a fair bit, to be fair. And I think, I don't know. I've liked him since his Leipzig days. I really have. In his Salzburg days, I've always followed him from there. I think he scored like a free kick for Hungary from like absolutely miles out. And I was like, who the fuck's this kid? Like, same as that other lad as well, who, he took over from Haaland at Salzburg, and then he's gone to Leipzig now as well. What's he called? That striker? Is it Benjamin Sesko? Is that his name?
No idea.
He's only young as well, but I've had my eye on him for a while as well, just because he was built up as well through the Red Bull thing. So maybe that's one to watch. We've got a Klopp over there. We've always been buying players from the Red Bull thing. There's a defensive midfielder as well that plays for one of Red Bull teams as well. I think he's called like Seiwald or something like that. I think he's Norwegian or Austrian. He's really good as well.
Boulder's name is Sesko.
Yeah, that's the lad, the striker. Yeah, Sesko. Yeah. JT's here with us. Evening, JT. Evening, everyone. What a performance! Slot just knows how to see out a game. Hope he keeps Endo around next season. Yeah, I mean, in the article from Paul Joyce today, Endo is mentioned as someone who obviously has got the right mentality and the right attitude when he's around and everything like that. So maybe that again. I'll throw this out for you, Seano. As I said in that video, would you keep Endo as backup to Gravenberch, and then not get another DM in next year and spend the money elsewhere? Because we do know that no matter what we say or what the fuck we think about FSG, we will have a limited amount of money. There will be a max on what we spend this summer.
Which is
so if
which
you
is
can
why
go
I
out
made,
there, if you can go out there,
go on.
You what?
No, which is why I made the point that I did on that video about Paul Joyce, and I'll bring it up now in a minute when we're talking about the Paul Joyce thing. But like, would I hold on to Endo even though Arnie doesn't really rate him? I don't know. I don't think so.
Mm.
It's hard to know, really.
JT again saw a tweet saying bringing Endo on is like wrapping yourself in a warm blanket on a winter's night and sipping a hot chocolate. He's a great squad player. Anna's a master tactician.
There's some great comments here today.
He is. 18-19, Liverpool knew how to defend, but the rest under Klopp was manic. Yeah. Gavin Morgan, after the Wolves game, it looked like Slot had a word with him, and he was immense yesterday. I watched Lewis Hall yesterday. Wouldn't be against signing him. He might help out with the thing as well, that homegrown quota as well, especially with the Elliott shit that's going around today as well. Like, Jesus, we're already losing enough homegrown talent as it is. Bolden, guys, I'm worried about this new keeper coming in. Alisson is so crucial to us. I do not trust FSG. Are they being cheap and don't want to offer him a new deal? I think the thing with Alisson is let me load up, I'm sure he's got 2 years, but then the club have an extra year as like an option. I'm sure
One
he's
thing that I've
technically got.
noticed about Alisson is he when it comes to corners, it comes to free kicks, he likes to punch it out rather than grab the ball.
I noticed that as well. Yesterday as well, I was like,
yesterday he was, he was.
I was like, what's that about with the thing?
One second, hero of hi. What's the contract news? Tubbs. Who are you calling Tubbs?
Where was I up to? I was up to here on that. His contract runs out in 2027. I thought there was like a further year extension that could have happened. Maybe that's not there now. So yeah, basically, Alisson, if he doesn't sign a new deal soon, he'll be able to leave on a free. But I don't know. I think, especially with him signing Mamadashvili this summer, not last summer.
Oh yeah,
that Kelleher will definitely be on his way, and then it's just a feeling of letting Mamadashvili and Alisson fight out for number one, I guess, potentially. I mean, I don't know. Where was we up to with all that? Sesko, yes, it is Sesko I was just talking about. Thoughts on Paul Joyce saying we want Hato and Kerkez for left back. I think Kerkez is a player I listed in that video I did as well. Copyright Calm, I don't know if you watched it yet. I also had Guterres from Genoa, and I had the other lad from Wolves, Alt Nore. So yeah, I won't be surprised if Kerkez is the one, to be fair, especially with the link with Chiesa's agent being his agent, Richard Hughes in Bournemouth, the Dominic Szoboszlai Hungarian link. Like, I wouldn't be surprised whatsoever if it was Kerkez, to be fair. And the whole thing about Hato, when he got invited over to watch the game, and apparently he was just there just because Gravenberch invited him over. What a load of shit. Like, I didn't even believe it at the time.
Yeah.
There is like a 15% improvement in Sob's game and Maka. It made a huge difference. I'm glad we got these two instead of Bellingham. Bellendum. I'll come back to that when we talk about the Paul Joyce stuff. Would you take Cunha as another number 9? I would. I'd take him and I'd take Jonathan David on a free transfer, and then I would sell Nunes and Jota. That's what I would do. I think we've done that one already. My issue is with Endo. Slot doesn't play him. If he stays, I'd like to see more rotation between Endo and Gilbert. Yeah. Endo probably starts against Southampton on Saturday. Not a bad shout. Bolden, I love Endo, but we need a solid DM, proven record. Imagine Ryan and Maka running free around. Guys, imagine this midfield with Fabinho. Yeah. Is that the one you read out?
Yeah. Cheeky fuck.
Bolden, yes, he has an option. Okay, so that was showing up on Transfer Market a couple of months back, but it's not there now, so I'm not sure what's gone on there. Mamadashvili is performing bad. Is the Liverpool move in his head and he's a bit nervous? Maybe. I think he's just playing in a bad team as well. I think he's literally playing in a shit team, like Valencia, literally on the verge of relegation.
Bear in mind, Alisson was in the exact, well, not in the exact same, but Alisson.
Well, we scored, what was it, 7 or something at Roma when he was in that. So yeah.
So
Richard had good call. Probably Copite Callum would keep him in form. Rest Gav. He did yesterday for the first corner. I was like, fair, just catch it next ball. Yeah. Did you see how Virgil van Dijk told him to catch the next one though? Like,
did he?
Yeah, he punched it and then it zoomed in and like Van Dijk and Alisson were talking and Virgil was like, catch it, like catch it.
Yeah. I don't blame him because he was doing that quite a lot, and I'm thinking
he did it against Villa as well.
Yeah,
a lot against Villa. He felt the same with Alisson before we brought him. We put 4. Yeah, there you go. So it was 4 or something. Yeah. Jamie's back. I think we spend 200 million somewhere because I believe we sell heavy and make close to that. Yeah, Jamie, I did a transfer video. I'm gonna keep plugging that until I get some views, decent views in it. It's pretty good. 45-minute long, mate. And I sell a fair few players in the squad, and I think at the end I do raise something like 200 million before you add anything into it that FSG or the owners could put in or whatever. And yeah, I could see us spending a bit, but there's options. I keep going about Jonathan David. I know no one talks about him, but look at his stats this year. and the fact he's available on a free transfer and he hasn't gone anywhere yet, like, if I'm Liverpool, I'm in there straight away for him. I mean, it comes with a fewer plus as well. Obviously, like he's Canadian American as well, so that'd boost the market and stuff like that. I'm not into that shit, but I'm just speaking like what it would do. Like, can you imagine what the Canadian Liverpool fans would be like having a Canadian play for Liverpool? Blah 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 blah. Do you know what I mean? Stuff like that, and he's a free transfer. Obviously, he'd get like a 10 million signing on fee, so it's not really a free transfer, but you get the point. Wednesday's game's going to be awesome. I can't wait for that game, to be fair. Russell, most of the players we've been linked with have had the same agent as Hughes. It's a bit lazy, to be honest. Subimendi, Chiesa, Kerkez. Yep. There's a pattern there, mate. There's a pattern. Where are we up to? I'm losing. There's so many people here today. Well, I'm enjoying this, guys. For scenario reasons, if we lose Trent, Elliott, Shimikas, Darwin, Jota, or Diaz, does that seem in any way something this club would allow? I see as replacing a few, but mostly adding. I pointed this out to me and Sean had a bit of a back and forth of a text earlier on today about stuff like this, and Sean doesn't think that. Well, I don't speak for you, but I was basically saying, like, if we lose all these players, they have to bring people in. They have to. We don't have.
They don't have to. They
do. So all right, okay. So then, if we lose, like it says there, Darwin, Jota, and Diaz, do you really think that they're going to go into next season with Slot if he wins the league and the Champions League this year and go, right, lad, same again? You've got Gakpo, Salah, and Dan's. Crack on.
I mean, they could replace maybe a few, but I don't think that they have to replace all of them. I mean, we've been talking about replacing Genie for the last how fucking long.
We have replaced Genie though.
Well, we have, but now
I think we've got Bosley, we've got Gravenberch. They're similar kind of players.
Yeah, but how long ago was that? Like, do you know what I mean? How long did it take? So I mean, we tend to put things on the long finger and talk about, well, it's very difficult to add, players, on an already great squad. I mean, fuck off, would you? So they don't have to do anything.
Well, no team has to do anything, do they? But
no.
Scott says he wouldn't judge Mama for Valencia. It's a very poor team. Yeah, exactly. Russell, Valencia's second keeper has a better save and lower mistake percentage than Mama. I don't even know who that is. I'll have to look into that. Bolden, Kieran Terry on a free, lads. Proper old school fullback and plays in a back three for Scotland. Nah, mate, I think they're going to go younger. If you look at the players that are being linked with, every one of them's a youngster. You've got Kerkez, Altanore, that Guertes that I picked out, I think he's not being linked with Liverpool, but I just chucked his name in there. Hato.
I'll watch the transfer video.
Who said? I think Scott's getting bored of that.
He is. He's like,
they've all been linked with young players. Richard the Red wouldn't sell Elliott. Neither would I, mate. But according to Paul Joyce, it comes down to whether Elliott's going to be happy with the minute to get. So maybe it's Elliott that pushes for the move. But we've already seen Elliott saying he's not going anywhere. So let's wait and see. We missed out on Mamouche. I hope we get Cunha, similar type of player. Yeah, we could get Cunha. Another one that there was people were talking about. I'm sure Scott mentioned to him as well. Scott mentioned him to me. João Pedro, Brighton. That could be another striker that you look at as well. I'm sure Scott was the one that mentioned that to me. Scott, I see your transfer video as your new plug instead of my podcast episodes. Mate, it's fantastic. And so are your podcast episodes, lad. Russell, Jonathan David averages 25 goals a season in the last 4 years. Yep. And that is in the French league, but he is a cracking player. I'd take him on a free transfer all day long. Jamie, the fact Slot came out and said he knows what positions we are buying in the summer tells me work is already underway. Yeah, I agree with that as well.
About fucking time.
Could you load Mamadashvili record against the best in the league? I think he's not that far off, if I remember. I'll have a look, mate. Anfield Raw, I was impressed with Lil. Didn't see a lot of David, and then bang, he scores. Exactly, that's what you need. Someone like that, to be fair. Someone who's just going to he's just going to score a lot. I was saddened they didn't give Jones a goal. Imagine a Scouse wrapping up Manchester. Exactly. Jamie Phillips, Napoli owner, and said Adeyemi, sorry, was on his next move done and dusted for the summer. Hughes and Edwards have always admired him. Adeyemi, isn't he play for Dortmund?
Fucking Adam escaped Jamie Phillips' football chats. Richard Hughes will show in the summer why he the right guy. No wonder he skipped that.
No, I didn't see it. Honestly, I missed that. Sorry, Jamie, mate. Sorry, Jamie. I honestly missed that. I've got. Is this Jack, who I've known from school? I'm sure it is. And Mbeumo wins the next, because that's a Leeds badge, that, isn't it?
That's a Leeds badge, yeah.
I'm sure this is Jack from school. All right, if it is, mate, I hope you're doing well, pal. Mbeumo wins the league next season, whether he signs for Liverpool or Arsenal. I can't see him at Liverpool, to be fair. I think Liverpool are just going to go younger. Russell, my dream window could be Arnaud Martinez, Kirkes, Jonathan David, Edison, Cunha, and a centre-back. Who's the Martinez lad at the top, mate? I'll have to have a look at that name. I'll come back to that, and I'll have a look at that one. I can't see Edison anymore. I don't think that happens. Cunha, I could see. Yes, it is Jack. It is. Oh, mate, I hope you're doing well, pal. Jonathan David, Edison, and Cunha. I can see Cunha. I can see Jonathan David. Well, I hope for Jonathan David. Can't see Edison. I just think it'd be too expensive. But yeah. Jamie reckons you'll buy Sesko for the number 9. Yeah, I hope so. He's a good lad. He's a good player. I've liked him since he was at Salzburg. He was the Erling Haaland replacement and stuff like that. So, yeah, he'd be a good signing for Liverpool. I think he's got a release clause of like 60 mil as well. So maybe not as expensive as some of the other ones. Anfield War. I won't be happy until Elliott and Darwin are sold. Wow. I doubt either would get in the Bournemouth starting lineup. I could probably see Elliott at Bournemouth.
Not too sure I agree with that, Anfield Roar, especially with Elliott. I think Elliott is a very good player. I just think he's obviously had a bad start to this season with injury.
Yeah.
But I think he would have played a very important part.
Russell reckons in response to Jack that he got that Mbeumo goes to Newcastle. They actually challenge properly, and I think they keep Isaac and add more. Do you know what? I think, to be fair, I could see Liverpool going for Sesko over Isaac because of age profile and price. Like, I could see, I can't see a way in the world where Liverpool go out there and spend 100 million plus on Isaac when they've got the rest of these other positions to fill as well. It's just not going to happen at all. Tierney is going to go to Celtic. I could probably see that happening as well. Yeah, Scott reckons we go for João Pedro or Cunha type forward instead of an out-and-out number 9. Not a fan of Cunha's attitude. Diaz and Nunes sales hopefully see a bid for Isaac. I don't know, guys. I really don't. Like, it depends what you get for them two. If you can get 100 odd plus for them two, then maybe. But I don't know. At the same time as well, the Sesko one, age profile, it just fits a little bit better into the FSG way of doing things. Russell reckons that Hughes will either have a masterclass or an epic fail. It's going to go one way or the other, isn't it? And it is Jack. How did this pop up, Jack, for you, mate? Because I'm not sure where I've shared it anywhere. Let me know where you found this, mate.
It's all over your old school.
He's a right back. All right, okay. After Atlanta got dumped out of Europe by a Belgian club, I'd rather buy Edison's keeper to play midfield than Atlanta Edison. Elliott is a class player from Richard the Red, England's captain under 21, still young, high energy, and he's a Liverpool fan. Yeah.
Great.
If we got 40 to 50 million for Elliott, I'd take that all day. Pure homegrown profit, yummy. Edward says, yes, raw. Gavin, but Adam, the 2 million extra from the Nike will help Isaac. Yeah. Did you see James Pearce beasting that up earlier on? Bloody hell. And then Gavin says, I've got a shout. Trent goes, Don will be vice captain. I reckon if Salah and Van Dijk stay, it'll probably be them two.
Yeah.
Captain and vice captain, to be fair. But I could be wrong there. So I want to just go over a few more things from the match, Martin. Seano, before we move on. So I saw this one earlier on. I think you sent me this, Gavin, earlier. Apparently, he put like with 89 minutes on the clock, Trent got a rollicking from the boss for jogging and not sprinting back into position, and he was then substituted.
I love it.
Just to recap, all the records that Salah set against Man City yesterday. He's the first player in Premier League history to register 40+ goal involvements in 2 different seasons.
Jesus.
He's the first player in Europe's top 5 leagues to be directly involved in 50 goals across all competitions this season. Has now scored and assisted in 11 Premier League games this season, the most by a player in a single season in one of Europe's big 5 leagues since Messi did it in 2014-15, and he also did it 11 times that season. Salah has provided more assists in 24-25 than any other Liverpool player has in a single Premier League season. I think he beat Steve McManaman's record, if I remember rightly, from like 94 or something. Salah is the first player in the Premier League history to score and an assist in both games against the reigning champions in a season. He's the first player to score 25 goals and register 15 assists in a Premier League season. And then it just asks the question underneath, is this the greatest individual season in the Premier League ever? Thoughts?
Yeah. I mean, he's already beaten Thierry Henry's record. I think he will go down as one of the greatest in Premier League history. The man is a genius. I mean, whoever uttered he's a one-hit wonder, whoever was the first person to utter that must be found and locked up, because this guy is just beyond any record. He's so focused, and he wants to just blast those records out of the park and then some. And if we don't sign him into a contract, and I know I keep saying that, it will be a travesty. It will be an absolute crime to football and to Liverpool Football Club, in which I don't think I hope if it does happen that FSG and Richard Hughes and Edwards won't recover from. They shouldn't recover from. I'm seeing so much shite on the internet. Oh well, we've had fantastic players, amazing players play for Liverpool and leave, and we've managed to to cope. That may well be the case, but let's not be stupid. Mo Salah, there doesn't look to be any sign of him slowing down. Any sign,
No.
Regardless of his age. Hello, Edward, and hello, Gary. Tally-ho. So yeah, that's my take on it. He's incredible. The way he played there yesterday as well, unbelievable.
Jack. Can't be sure. Maybe you talk a lot more sense than you did in year 8. Fuck off. The one thing I remember about you, mate, is your Arsene Wenger impersonation. Honestly, he was spot on in college and shit like that with that.
Really?
Jack was really good at his Arsene Wenger. Fucking well good. Bolden, Bastoni, Gordon, Pedro, Orcunha, Frimpong, Robinson, Gomez. That's my dream. I'm guessing Robinson, you mean the lad from Fulham? I think he's too old for FSG, mate. I think he's like 27 already. I can't see him doing that, in all fairness. Gomez, I'm guessing by this spelling you mean the lad from Wolves as a midfielder. Yeah, I think there's 2 midfielders that Wolves have got that Liverpool wanted before they went to Wolves. Andre and Gomez. Yeah, they wanted both of them before they went to Wolves, so potentially, yeah. Anfield Raw. Richard the Red, what performance makes him class? And James Bond is a Liverpool fan, but I don't want him on the pitch. True in relation to Elliot.
That's
Gavin
true.
doesn't see Trent starting on Wednesday. I think we've got no choice, pal. I think Conor Bradley's still out injured. I mean, unless you're going to start Kwanzaa there at right back.
Oh, God.
Endo. I don't know. I don't think you've got much choice, pal. Hello, Edward. Ian. First and foremost, we sell all the players with a chronic injury record. We have to be ruthless in this regard, and availability is the best ability. I agree with that last sentiment there, mate. But I can't think who's got chronic injuries for Liverpool right now then. So you obviously Chiesa, Gomez.
I would say Gomez is chronically injured. I don't think he's injury prone, is he?
Well, let's have a look. I'll load up the profiles. I think Alisson's becoming injury prone.
Alisson has become injury prone.
He has become, like, I've got his injury record here since he's missed.
There's Martin. All right, Craig. Is that Craig from Canada, isn't it?
Oh my God, I'm going to sneeze so bad. So Alisson so far this season has missed 24 games for this season. Last season he missed 19 games. Before that he was fine. But yeah, the last 2 seasons he's missed over, like, what's that? What did I say? 24 and 18.
19.
So he's missed nearly 40 games in 2 seasons.
Fuck me, that's dreadful.
So
that's dreadful. I mean, you're going to have to keep a very good keeper, a second keeper, if you're going to keep Alisson. Is Mohamed Ashvili going to be the second keeper, or is Alisson going to be on the bench? Is Kelleher going to I think they've made a balls of it. I don't think they've been very wise with their decisions.
Gomez this season has missed 16 games with 2 injuries. Last year he only had the 1 injury, missed 1 game. The season before that, 5 games. Season before that, 9 games. Season before that, 51 games.
Okay, well.
Yeah, so he has been a bit thingy. Bolden, never getting Bastoni out of Inter. Yeah, I don't think that'll happen unless you offer him stupid money. Adam and Seano, get rid of Diaz, Jota and Chiesa, bring in Cunha, De Jong and Isaac and retain the bloody Prem. De Jong's the highest paid player in Europe. Do you know that? I don't think he'd come to Liverpool, guys. I just don't. What else is there? There is get good money for Nunes, Jota and Elliott. I think you'd be lucky to get good money for Jota with his injury record. I really don't. I reckon 20 million and you're taking that.
Would you get more money for Jota than you would Nunes, do you think?
No, you get more for Nunes. I reckon you get between 40 and 50 for Nunes, and for Jota, just based on injury record and not being available, anything north of 20. And I think you've been very, very lucky as well. Not based on ability, but he can't fucking play. Like someone mentioned a while back saying, I hope, because I said I'd sell Jota to Arsenal. I thought I would. I'd sell Jota there. And someone was like, why would you sell Jota to Arsenal? And I was like, he ain't going to fucking play. Don't worry about it. Like, take the money. Gavin, I have a gut feeling next international break we hear either Virgil or Salah. I'm give up fucking trying to tell when we're coming, mate. Like, I won't be surprised if we got enough until the season's over. If we're signing contracts on back at bus when we've got trophies up, Richard Hughes will walk up with fucking paper and go, "Hey, lads, do you want to sign it?" That's when we'll find out.
We've been talking about that since like the first international break when the season started. So, I mean, I'm just surprised that it's been dragged out this long. It's been really, really bad.
Tony Steele, evening, guys. Question: would you prefer Slot have been given a transfer budget and he picks up his players on, or the system where we have Edwards and Hughes have the control?
I can fucking answer that straight out.
Go on then.
I can answer that straight out. I would, of course. I think no one knows football better than the head coach. No one knows what style of football he wants to implement and what players he wants more than the head coach. It's all right, sporting directors and all that shite, but if you have men in suits who have very little experience on the pitch, or if any, if they're making the decisions, more often than not, that they screw up on them. And I mean, Chiesa, apparently, according to, I think it was Paul Joyce, was a Richard Hughes signing. So, you know.
No, it was Peter Gost. Just about that. He said that it was Chiesa was a Richard Hughes signing. It wasn't. I'm just saying it wasn't what you.
Okay, Paul Gerst, or Peter
Paul
Gerst.
Goss, or Peter, whatever it's called, yeah.
Yeah, now. So
Yeah.
Paul Gerst, he said it. So I mean, look, he's hardly played. He's played a handful of games, if at the most, hasn't really had a massive impact. So yeah, absolutely, Ernest Slot should have full control, but whether he does or he's not going to, because Edwards and Hughes has come in with been told that, or been promised that they have full control.
For me, I'd just go with whatever Slot wants to do. If Slot wants to have people that do it for him, fair game. If Slot wants to do it himself, I'm down with that. I'm not bothered one way or another. I mean, yeah, they've just come in and it seems to have all gone to shit, which it is. Like, the club, as much as we're doing well on the pitch, behind the scenes, the club's in a right fucking state. Like, contracts, so on and so forth. Not as bad as Man United, but like, shall we say that? Like, putting people up, like, making people redundant and fucking scrapping fucking meals and shit like that, and fruit, whatever the fuck you shared me earlier. Whatever the fuck's going on there, like, none of that going on. But when you look in depth beyond Salah, Van Dijk, and all that, this club is in for a bit of a shock regarding contracts, guys. It really is. So they need to get a hang of that. But
it's quite.
They're the ones that identified Slot. They're the ones that chose Slot. All right, Seano, before we go, who picked Slot then? If it wasn't them, who did it?
Jesus, I don't fucking know. I mean, who gives? Like, I'm sorry, that's like Jason McIntyre going on about that goal that he scored against Holland. Do you know what I mean? Like,
so all right then. So what if
Roy
then?
Keane here.
What if then they'd hired Slot, but he was shit? Would you be blaming him?
No, because let me just point something out here, right? If Richard Hughes was partly or fully responsible for Ernest Slot, the appointment of Ernest Slot, well done, good man. But you've done fuck all since. And now you're looking at three of our top players, the vice captain, the captain, and our record-breaking Egyptian king, Mo Salah, fucking leaving on a free, with other players running down to the last 12 months of their contract, it possibly going to be in the same situation this time next year as Salah, Trent, and Virgil. So I'm sorry, I'm not going to tickle anyone's bollocks and say we've well done on a decision you made over 12 months ago. You know, like it goes back to what I always say like my experience, my work experience. I did work in sales for many years, nearly a decade, or it would have been a decade. That's why I'm actually 21, but it aged like a bad curry. But like, you're only as good as your next month. So if you're hitting your fucking target, 11 of the 12 months, and then you didn't hit target, well, then you're responsible. You're held accountable for that. Richard fucking Hughes has not done anything since the appointment of Ernest Slot. Since he did his little press conference, he's been to games, whatever, but that's it.
Yeah.
And some of the rumors that are doing the mill does not sound convincing at all.
There's a couple here that I just want to further down comments that I want to bring in just because it's the conversation. Yeah. In fact, no, Russell above that, sorry. The issue with the contracts as well is it puts a huge unwanted pressure on Hughes. He'll have to get the next few signings bang on. Hughes also was a professional player. He played for Portsmouth. Bond reckons that ease with Edwards and Hughes. I don't think the manager should have full control.
He played for Portsmouth. Sorry, go on.
Slot should have the final say from Hughes, is what Craig said. Ian puts this down. Klopp wanted Nunes, and the club and the recruitment team didn't want him. I think that is true, to be fair. I think that's in the Pep Linders book. And it was, and it's come out since Klopp left that a lot of people in the club didn't want Nunes. What else was there? I'm trying to pick out the ones that are in relation to this conversation, guys. People forget how good Edwards did under Klopp, all the great signings he did. Keita was a massive mistake. Tony Steele. So if all our top players don't sign, do you think Edwards will throw Hughes under the bus? No, I don't.
I think so.
I don't. I really don't. Anfield Raw. Hughes was responsible for Chiesa. Swindon fucking roundabouts. Richard Hughes wants to pay installments when he goes into a brothel house. I think that Hughes is Edwards' boy, and that's comfort too much. He knows he's basically unsackable. Again, another one. Klopp didn't want to sign Salah, which is true again. He wanted Goetze, I think, or it might have been Julian Brandt. Was it? He wanted Goetze, and then Edwards said no, Mane, and then he wanted Julian Brandt, and then someone said no, Salah. I think that's how that worked out, yeah. They didn't want Nunes, but they wanted Nkunku instead of who's been poor for Chelsea. Julian Ward signed Nunes. He did the work. Easy to blame Klopp now he's gone. Oh, that's now Klopp's fault. Jack, you can't bring Klopp getting Nunes into it because Klopp had weight with the trophies and he won at that point. Yeah, that's true as well, Jack. That's probably why. That's why. What's his face left though? Edwards left because of Klopp, and that's why Edwards came back because Klopp left. Slot, figure out the style and players before we figure out things with the office guys. Yep. Let's go further up. Where did I get up to with all these ones at the top here? Here we go. Sorry, I'm trying to find where was that. Oh, there we got JT. Don't think Slot is a fan of Elliott's ball winning attributes. He's physicality for that. He wants as a 10 compared to Sobozo, for example. Great on the ball, but think that's why Slot isn't all that keen. Yeah, I think Elliott is still rough. He's still raw. He's got the energy and everything like that, but I think he's not got that panache, shall we say, that at the same time. Salary is unplayable. 30 goals, 21 assists in all comps. For his size, Mo holds the ball up as well as Drogba. Magnificent player. Mo doesn't get respect because he isn't the cleanest with the ball and doesn't do messy things by beating 11 men. He did have a bit of a messy moment, though, against City in the second half when he took on like 3 of their players. He did eventually lose the ball, but when he had it, I was like, oh, hold on a minute. What's going on here? If they let Salah go on free and Van Dijk, it's going to be a long few years. Yeah, I agree with that.
Oh, fuck yeah.
He also adds that Robinson failed a medical at AC because of a heart issue as well. Liverpool are perfectionists at that kind of thing. Well, they did let Chiesa... Well, no, tell a lie. They didn't know about Chiesa's issue. So, because he didn't divulge it, but hey-ho.
True.
In all honesty, I really think Suarez 13-14 was, if not the best one season we have seen. His stats aren't the same, but he was a monster. Oh, Martin's here. Sorry, Martin, mate. Hi, Craig, as well. Sorry, I'm just catching up on some news at the top now. Heard somebody say last night Szoboszlai reminds them of Ballack. Great shout. I can't remember Ballack. I know I can remember him, but I can't remember watching him play properly to have a sort of comparison with it. Craig, I heard we're bringing another keeper. I do think our second is the best, and Bradley's now Hullett and Gomez. I think it means one and Gomez, yeah. Oh, right, okay, yeah. De Jong is injury prone. The season that Gomez missed 50 plus games, did he not break his leg? Yeah, he did. Scott said he's surprised how many people want to sell Elliott. He's a quality young player. JT, 75 million was rejected from Saudi for Nunes last month. I don't believe that, pal. I can't believe a world where Liverpool rejected 75 million for a flop. I can't. And then you've got the journalists going around now saying that he's basically going at the end of the season. So then the clubs know that he's leaving at the end of the season. So they're not going to come back in with that type of money. Because they know you want to sell him. So I just don't believe it. I don't know why. It just doesn't sit right with me. Doesn't. Because you'd have just kept... Because as much Nunes is on the pitch right now, you could have just kept Jadon Dans and not loaned him out. You could have sold Nunes, pocketed the 75 mil because there probably wouldn't have been anybody to buy, as they say, in January, and just kept Jadon Dans. So, Craig, do we really need to sell and maybe get young players now? I mean, not necessarily, no, but I just think that's what they're going to do. I think Edwards is probably going to try and influence his old techniques of what he did when he first came in. Like, Salah was not young, but you know what I mean? They were like 24, whatever, 25. Mane, same age, players like that. I don't think they're going to go and sign like 17-year-olds, but I think they're going to go to the younger 20s. I think you'll be looking like 21 up to like 24-year-olds that they'll probably end up bringing in this summer. Hussein is obviously younger than that. He's like 19, and so is that Hato, but they're supposed to be like generational talents. 50 million for Diaz, and then there's so you get the 75, then the 50, then you get your Isaac fund. Yeah. If Liverpool sign Isaac, he will score 50 goals next season. I love Gary's optimism, me. Gary, you were saying Nunes were going to score 50 goals.
we just need whatever Gary has. We need to bottle it and just distribute it to all of the world, and it'll be a happier place.
We've done that one already. Sorry, guys. Done that one as well. Good to see you guys. How's over there? It's not bad. It was pissing it down past couple of days. I'm sure over in Ireland it's worse than it is over here.
Always is. It was grand actually this morning. This morning was beautiful. And then about, I'd say, 1-2 o'clock, it started pissing out of the heavens, and it hasn't stopped now.
Ian King, isn't Richard Hughes responsible for the upward trajectory and improvement of Bournemouth?
Oh, apparently so. And apparently that's why we're lucky to have him. That's why we're lucky to have
him. Craig, I noticed Richard and the other guy watching games in the stand. What are they doing? They're probably just in Liverpool, mate, sorting stuff out. Hopefully, anyway. King Eddie Howe was the one doing transfers when he was there. Hughes just negotiated, but he brought in Cliver, etc. Guys, we are back to the transfer committee stuff again. Slot listed as head coach. Yeah, he is, mate. Gavin, there was a reason Amorim wasn't appointed. He wouldn't have wanted Edwards and Hughes to have control. Slot isn't an FSG yes man, but won't look to go either.
Amorim.
I think the whole Amorim thing, mate, is you're right in that. I reckon from what they said in that article, it was something like he was adamant at playing this formation that he's playing now.
Let him play it. I would give that guy another contract.
That's why they didn't do it.
Yes.
Because they thought they had to spend more money than they would have done. Russell, what is the Chiesa issue? He has allegedly sleeping problems. Anthony Raw, fuck Navigator was 65-year-old, so the medical team that day must have been on the piss. Brian, evening lads. Hope everyone is doing well. I think Slot will now know who he wants to keep and not keep, which is probably the way.
Man, Brian, haven't spoken to you in ages. Hope you're well.
There was something about that in an article, wasn't there, from one of the journalists that said that, and I was like, well, then that could have gone wrong then, couldn't it? Because you decided to not sign any players, and it could have all gone Pete Tong, and you've risked your job for not trying to bring in people that you wanted, just so you could assess the squad you've got. Well, next season wasn't even guaranteed.
That's a load of bunkum. I mean, how quick were they to decide what players they didn't want and get an offload? Like, that's a load of bullshit to me. All right, Ricky, how are you?
Yeah.
By the way, guys, we're on Discord, so if you want to join in our Discord.
Actually, those of you that are in the Discord chat, you need to go on your settings on the server and turn on notifications, because I have been putting shit in there and no one's saying anything. And then really? I had a chat with Gavin, and he was like, "Oh, I'm not getting notifications," so you have to physically go into it and turn the notifications on the server.
Muscuzzi's after messaging me.
If you are Nunes or players looking at joining, you see their best players without good deals. Jono saying players are gone. It's a bit toxic. Agreed. Bolden, not Ballack, but please don't laugh, but more like of a workhorse like Dirk Kuyt in relation to Szoboszlai. Dirk Kuyt was a absolute workhorse, wasn't he? Yeah. Russell Chiesa needs lullabies sang to him at night. That is allegedly the issue. Russell is that he's having issues sleeping. That is allegedly the issue.
Cry me a fucking river. I've had sleeping issues since I was 17. I'm 46 now, so.
Bolden says, "Get the likes up, guys. Make sure you're hitting the like button." Born, sign players. Sorry, thinking of the next 10 years, it makes sense. Craig, good to hang out with you. Catch up. All right, Craig. Hope you had a good time with us, mate, and come back on when you can. Ricky, evening, Ricky. Chris Slot gave an interview recently about the type of player he likes in his team. Quality, fast, and can change direction quickly is what he said. Reasons why he doesn't play Elliot, and probably Endo by that as well. Gyökeres, he would fit the squad. I'm not sure, mate. Not sure. I'm not a big fan of Gyökeres. I'm not gonna lie. Zubimendi makes no sense then. Yep. I don't know. This is just this is what's just been going around. Like Gavin mentioned it as well, that apparently like there's something that was going on with him that wasn't flagged in the medical because it wasn't meant to be flagged in the medical, and they found out about it later on, and allegedly it's something to do with him sleeping or lack of, shall we say. He doesn't have the energy apparently, and that's why we're not seeing him as much as we did do. Get Arteta by his bedside for him to start mourning for hours. That'll put him to sleep. Question is, lads, if Núñez, Elliot, Diaz get moved on, will these owners buy 3 in? Not a chance. We need a left back, a right back, a centre back, a CM, and a striker. That's all. For the first time, we have to build when we are on top.
Exactly. Exactly. You see, that's a thing, Brian. I've been talking about that for fucking years. You got to speculate to accumulate. You've got to build for the future. Do you know what I mean? You can't be just like putting things on the long finger because, it's not going to. It does my goddamn head in. It does my goddamn head in that we're still talking about this 15 years fucking later. And, I mean, I've seen some of the comments on Facebook. My God, I mean, I had someone trying to convince me that FSG have not taken 1 cent out of Liverpool Football Club their whole time. So I was like, all right, okay. So are they doing it just for the love of it, are they? I mean, that's great business sense. They buy a club and don't take 1 penny out of it. Like, come on. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm fucking trying to say, guys. I'm just it frustrates the living piss out of me. I mean, I'm just fucking thrilled about the game yesterday. It's very difficult to fucking concentrate on the other stuff right now.
Anfield Roar, the reason we've got the squad is the Klopp era and rebuild. I'll be so curious to see if this new regime can do better than what Klopp did. I mean, that's another thing as well. People have been pointing out over the course of the season, to be fair, is that this is not Slot's team. This is Klopp's team. Which it is. It is. If you look at the players, he's only added Chiesa, hasn't really played. But they are playing in a different way. And that's down to Slot. So their names, even though they don't, when you spell it out, they don't look the same, but Klopp and Slot next to each other, it always confuses me. And I'll say the one when I shouldn't say the one. But it'll be interesting, guys. Like, again, I'm going to push it again. The transfer video. There's a couple of midfielders in there that, Alan Varela, Quinton Timber at Feyenoord. They're some players I could potentially see Liverpool going for as well. Like, it'd be interesting to see who he brings in, guys. It really will be. And then we may see a team next year that plays completely different style all over again. It may do. When he's got the players in that he wants. Gavin, we win the league. I want to see transfers that will keep us ahead next season. We can't end the summer window with a lack of depth or short. We won't get away with it next year. Out of doubt. Chelsea will get themselves sorted out. Arsenal will probably end up signing number 9. City, if Pep stays, will probably end up sorting themselves out. So I agree. Like, we need to reinforce, buckle down, and just get on with it, with what we need to do, and not be like Arsenal is now with their strikers out and stuff like that, and not having a number 9.
Not do what we did in the last time we won the title. Fucking do nothing. Do nothing. We didn't build on the success that we had built over the course of a number of seasons. It gradually got us to that position. From the Coutinho money, we brought in Virgil. Then we decided to bring in Alisson. Then we brought in, do you know what I mean? So it was gradual, and that's grand. I mean, some fans may think, that's the Liverpool way, and that's the right way of doing things. But as a player, it's not really. I mean, you want to compete every season. You don't want to be waiting on a 2-year plan or a 3-year plan or a 5-year plan. Makes no sense. But we did not build the time we won the league. We did not build on it, and we ended up having a very, very poor season as a result of it. So hopefully, if we win in May, that we build in the summer.
Yeah. Chris N says they'll take out their billions when they sell. Bolden, guys, what's your feelings of what's going to happen regarding the contracts? All 3 stay. If you were Richard Hughes, who would be priority? I think Salah's priority, then Virgil, and then Trent. I think Virgil and Salah stay. I think Trent goes. What about you, Seano?
If I were Richard Hughes, the priority would be I would be doing us all a favour and handing in my notice. But on top of that, I think Trent's gone. I have a feeling that Virgil is staying, and I have now a feeling that Salah is gone. So I think it's Salah and Trent to go. That's how I feel now.
Yeah.
It changes. It's been changing every fucking every week nearly.
Russell wants Edison for the endless stamina and quick passing, top quality lad. I didn't have him on my list, mate. I just didn't. I don't think Liverpool would go back in for him.
And Spurs would be Spurs.
Spurs would be Spurs. That season you were talking about, when we did what we did, we got Adrian and Harvey Elliott. That was it.
Yeah.
Bond, do you think Klopp would have won the league? I don't think he would have played his high line. Do you mean this year?
Good question.
Hard to tell, isn't it, mate? Good question, though. Probably. I think we'd be in the fight, but I don't think we'd be clear ahead, because I do think we probably would have conceded more goals.
It's a difficult question, because would he have offloaded the kids? Because he would have had.
Oh no. We'd probably still be in all competitions.
Yeah, we could have.
Probably still be in all competitions.
He could have, but I mean, he plays a different type of football than Slot does. Slot, I think, is more conserving of our energy, and sometimes it's not attractive to look at. But by God, the records speak for itself.
Rock on, Ricky. Mad thing is that if we get all the contracts sorted out, then we only need 2 or 3 new players. How FSG run this club is insane. Russell, Trent, Salah, Van Dijk last June, they wanted the club to show ambition, and yet again they failed them. Again, players coming in will see this and question if it's the right place to be. Well, they will do what they mate, and that's what I said. Like, I said this, and I know Sean don't agree with me when I say it, but if I was one of them and I knew that Klopp was gone, Arne Slot's coming in from the Dutch league, where the last manager that's come from the Dutch league, Erik ten Hag, done nothing. We're not buying anybody. I wouldn't sign the contract as well. I'd be like, well, do something for me then. Why should I sign? Why should I sign for Liverpool? You're not going to give me the money I want. You've hired a manager that I don't know, and I don't know nothing about him. Don't know style of play. I've got Erik ten Hag, who won more trophies than Slot over in Holland at the time. He's done shit over here. You're not going to go buy some new players. Why would I sign a contract?
I disagree completely on that, Adam. Because
but I think you're doing that though because you love the club.
I do love the club.
I love Liverpool as well. But I'm taking that out of the equation.
Okay, well then let me put something into the equation. How is it then players from clubs that have a rotating door of fucking managers still sign contracts.
because they get
Spurs,
offered
Chelsea, United,
because of what
City.
I just said, like because they always buy players and because they always pay them more than what they probably should be getting.
Yeah, but I mean, there has to be some sort of attachment to the club that they've signed to or that they're playing for. Do you know what I mean?
I
So
don't know. I just think like the end of the last 9 years where you've had probably at the time the best manager in the world, he's gone. He's gone. They probably know about all the stuff that's gone on in the background as well. Regarding, I don't know. I just wouldn't. I would be like, okay, I would have signed by now because I'd have seen what Slot's done. Yes, I would have signed by now unless they were going to me. Yeah, well, if do you want a bag of chips and a fucking 50 quid, then yeah, I'd be like, no, I'm not fucking signing. No,
yeah, but you see, that's
but
the thing. I mean, if you look at it, if you look at the real reasons as to why the contracts are the way they are, the contract fiasco is the way it is. It's not down to Klopp leaving, and it's sure as fuck not down to Slot being at the club. Because if you look at it, ideally, the last 24 months of their contract, they should have been talking shop. They should have been talking about renewing their contract.
yeah, but again, I've said that reason behind that as well is that
Yeah,
Mike Gordon fucked off and they
yeah,
didn't do it. So that's
exactly.
the reason why as well.
Yeah, but the point is that it's down to club negligence, without a doubt. It's down to club negligence. In terms of Klopp leaving, of course, there's going to be a question mark over what's going to happen. But I mean, if you look at Virgil, Virgil loves this club. The club love him. He's just been made captain. He's not going to fucking want to leave. Trent has been made vice captain. He's a scouser. He doesn't really want to leave, or he didn't. Salah, he's made his Liverpool his home. He doesn't want to leave. I mean, he said from day one that he wants to end his career at Liverpool. So none of these players wanted to fucking leave. It's down to club negligence, the fact that we have not sorted this contract thing out. And we've had months and months and months this season to fucking sort it out, and we haven't. And now we have players running down to the last 16, 17, 18 months of their contract who are also going to be in the same position, the same situation as Virgil, Salah, and Trent. And that is not down to Klopp leaving. That's not down to Mike Gordon. That's not down to Slot. That's down to Richard Hughes and Edwards and their low ball tactics. That's what it's down to.
Yeah, I can imagine them low balling 100%. Gavin would say United were back, but with Ineos making all the cuts, they have local nursing home as their starting 11.
Man, I'm thinking of doing a GoFundMe for their canteen.
Ian, strengthen from a position of strength. See the Sir Bob Paisley textbook.
Yeah,
Russell, I'm going to say a mad take. If Slot wins Champions League and Prem, I reckon a rebuild will ruin his CV. If Salah and Virgil leave, I reckon Slot goes to Madrid. I think Alonso goes to Madrid this summer, mate.
No,
Xabi Alonso. Chris N. Gravenberch wouldn't be playing the DM on the Klopp. That's true. It'd have been Endo all season.
Yeah.
Ricky, I agree with Bond. The style has made a massive difference. It has. Bolden, I think Wednesday's game is massive. We will see the attitude of the players, and if all this talk of a one hand on the league trophy has had a negative effect on them, yeah, I agree with that.
True.
Rumours of Madrid are talking to Virgil. Yeah, and I think the Spanish papers have rejected that, mate. I don't think that's going on. Gary Richards, the one thing that can't happen is the poor defense of the title. Yeah, we can't have that again. Ricky, are you guys looking at the fixtures later? I have a question for you regarding them. Tell you what, mate, we'll do that next. Bolden, this is not new, lads. Most of our title winning side that have left have mentioned the bad treatment received by the club. FSG hit the jackpot with club. They were never in it to win it. Yeah, I agree with that.
Well done, Bolden.
Doug, good evening, guys. All right, Doug, mate.
Good evening, Doug. Are you going to be at the Legends game?
What is it? Just I'll tell you what, then I've got the fixtures here. So obviously we're playing Newcastle on Wednesday. We'll do the next 5 fixtures, shall we say? So we've got Newcastle Wednesday, and then we don't play again until the 5th of March. So we've got what's that? We don't play this weekend, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Basically a week, haven't we? It's a week until we play Paris Saint-Germain, and then we play 3 days after that against Southampton at home, and then we've got 3 days after that we've got PSG at home, and then we've got the Carabao Cup final against Newcastle on that Sunday, which is obviously 5 days after that we've just played PSG. What are your thoughts on these fixtures? So we play Newcastle twice, PSG twice, and Southampton.
Newcastle are going to be difficult, but I mean, you've seen. I don't know whether you saw the game against Forest. They were like, was it 3-1 up or something like that, 3-0 up at half time, and then it was ended up in 4-3. Forest really gave them a game in the second half. So, I mean, there's frailties there without a doubt. Forest are there for the taking, but again, it's all about how we approach the game. Very, very important game on Wednesday, so we have to treat that as another cup final. We have to put in the same sort of effort and performance that we put in against City, and not just get lackadaisy and think that we're over the line. We're not until May. So it's very, very important. And I mean, as Virgil said, we have got to make Anfield a nasty place for rival clubs to come in, our opponents to come in, and just, if you manage to get a ticket to a home game between now and the end of the season, don't be looking at other people. Don't be recording other people and commenting on what other people are doing and other fans are doing. You be the one that sticks out. And if someone tells you to shut the fuck up, you say fuck no, and you just keep shouting. That's what you should do.
I agree with that, mate. I agree with that 100%. So Ricky's question is, if the next few games go our way and Arsenal drop more points, how would you guys manage the rest of the season? My opinion is, can we get a lead so big that we focus more on the Champions League? I tell you what, in fact, I'm going to take a Seano saying here. I'll tell you something for nothing.
I'll tell you something for
nothing. Arsenal, I think they lose to Fulham, to Forest, midweek. I can see that happening. And if we obviously beat Newcastle, we will then be 14 points clear. But then they play. In fact, let me get this right. Let me just word this up properly. No, I tell a lie if I don't. So then they don't then play a game in the league until they play Man United away. So their next couple of games in the Prem are Forest away, United away, Chelsea at home, Fulham at home.
Chelsea will be very difficult for them, I think. And I think United will probably bend down.
Even if United get a draw, I mean, if we do Newcastle and then we do Southampton, and if they get beat by Forest, draw with Man United, what would it be? 16 points clear before they even played Chelsea. And then if they got beat by Chelsea and then who do we play next in the league after that? I think that's their game in hand as well, I think, if I look at this correctly. Yeah, so the day we play the Carabao Cup final, they play Chelsea. So that is their game in hand. And then we play Everton after that. I tell you what, if it goes as I've just said then, Ricky, and Arsenal drop a few more points over the next couple of games, we could win the league mathematically before we even have to play Arsenal. Because
Chris reckons that if we win all of our home games, that's the title there.
Well, yeah, that it is. Yeah, it is. I mean, so let's just we get 3 points on Wednesday and Arsenal get beat. We then open up a 14-point gap. If we beat Southampton and they draw with United, that's a 16-point gap. And then we don't play again. And then if they get beat by Chelsea with their game in hand, it's still a 16-point gap. And then obviously we've got to beat Everton at Anfield, Fulham we could have this if Arsenal do end up going on a few things now where they lose a couple of games and draw a few, we could probably win the league by end of April.
Here's my prediction. I reckon Arteta gets the sack.
I don't think so.
I
don't know. I'd be surprised if that happened, in all fairness. I really would.
You heard it here first, lads. SKB, that's the new fucking channel. I'm taking over AKM. SKB. This is what's going to happen. Arteta will get the sack at the end of the season, or he will leave at the end of the season. That's where my money's at.
I don't know. I'll have to wait and see, but I don't think that will happen. Trying to think of any comments.
Would you put money on it?
Would I put money on what?
Arteta leaving. Like me, I if I put money on it, would you put money on it?
What, between ourselves?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want.
Easy money.
Right, I think pretty much it. So we'll cover off. Oh, actually, guys, we haven't even fucking mentioned this. We're over an hour into the show, over nearly an hour and a half into the show. We haven't mentioned fucking Toby.
I know, it's fucking, and I was just thinking, Martin's there watching. Probably, are they going to mention Toby? Yeah.
Apologies, Toby, Martin. Sorry, guys. We actually spoke about it before we went live. And yeah, we'll mention Toby, and then we've just gone off.
We've just gone. Toby's like, fucking hell. Did they forget me? Did they even know I exist?
So for those of you that know, obviously, Toby had his second professional fight at the weekend, and he won again. So Toby is now 2-0 in his boxing career.
Like the Undertaker.
Did he win this one by points?
He won by points. Now, I watched the whole thing, and I actually have a video where there's a little box, and there's me commentating on the fight. So there's the fight, and there's me commentating on the fight over the other commentators. Who the commentator wasn't, one of the female commentators wasn't happy with me because there was a live chat on the stream, and there was a guy that was this Conor McGregor wannabe, and he's from Ireland, and she started putting on an Irish accent, and I said, female commentator, worst Irish accent ever. They fucking read it out. I didn't even know that they saw the comments, but no, Toby was absolutely incredible. He fought this guy called WVM or something like that. We kept on calling him VPN. And because, you know, he was like some sort of Wish.com RVD or JBL from WWE or whatever. But big lad, bigger reach than Toby. This was like a real test for Toby, to be quite honest with you. But Toby completely dominated the fight. It was 3 rounds. It was very, very hairy at the end of the third round, where he got basically chinned by this fella, and Toby got him back. And I think he twisted his ankle a little bit, Toby did. But he won on points, very convincing. I'm super, super proud of him. A really good fight. Really good fight. So I've sent on the video to Adam.
Yeah,
Adam may or may not put it up.
No, I will put it up on the channel. I do have a life outside YouTube, Seano, right? I do.
Oh, it's all about you and Gavin chatting and fucking John from school. You've no time for us
Jack,
anymore.
not John.
Or Jack even. Sorry.
But yeah, no, massive well done, Toby, mate. Like, I don't know if he's not made an announcement of his next fight or anything yet, has he? I don't think there's anything on the cards.
Oh no, he does. He's got another fight coming up, and it's actually in around the last game of the season.
Oh. So
like he has to prepare for that. So I think he's broken his knuckles. God bless him. So he's yeah. You want to see the other lad though.
Jack won't be happy leads it down 1-0. Hey, they're going down next year anyway. They come back up, they're going straight back down.
I'll tell you one thing for nothing, that the only good thing out of Leeds is that Emma Jones, that presenter, lead presenter. Oh my God.
I don't know who that is. I have to Google.
just to delete your
So
Google.
then, what was the other thing we wanted to talk about?
The Paul Joyce shite.
Yeah, let me load up my other thing. I've got it somewhere here where I had it all highlighted and that. Well, I think I fucking did anyway.
Honest to God. It's like, imagine if you were a student and you kept on regurgitating the same shite and passing that off as your homework done. Sending
Right.
in your same news, or your same. If you did a project, and each and every time your teacher asked you to hand in a project on something, and you handed in the same fucking thing, that is Liverpool journalism. That is the journalists that cover Liverpool Football Club.
Trying to think where this is all
Yes,
gone to, mate.
Russell, beautiful personality.
Right, I've got it here. So I'm going to go through the paragraphs. I've already given my opinion, guys, on the video I did earlier. So I just want to get your opinion on them all, Seano.
Sorry, I'm just looking at Brian's comment there.
Hold on, I've got it on a different tab open now, so I can't even see the chat thing.
Yeah.
Right, I'll put it on this monitor over here so I can see it, and I've got that up at the same time. Right, so first bit, both keepers, Kelleher and Allison, know that Mamadashvili is arriving from Valencia in the summer. The deal for Mamadashvili, no money was transferred last summer and will be transferred this year, basically, is what he's saying. First thoughts on that?
First thoughts on that is it's another excuse for not spending more money than we should be spending in the summer, this summer. That's what I think. Because why would you go out and fucking say that?
Yeah.
If it's not to manage expectations.
Yeah. Next one. Kanate is yet to sign the new terms he has been offered. He will soon be into the final year of his contract. Whispers are growing that interest in the French centre-back is from PSG and possibly even Real Madrid. Thoughts?
My take on that is he's waiting for what happens with the three big contracts this year. What's the point in staying with the club if you don't have ambitions of holding on to the players that you have?
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. Chris N is in agreement with you there as well. Succession planning is required at left back, given that Andy Robertson turns 31 next month, and Shimikas is not a long-term solution. Liverpool have already been studying options such as Bournemouth's Milos Kerekes and Ajax's Joel Hatto, among others. So there's other players, but he's just named these other two. Thoughts on that?
I think that's just a fucking guess, but I mean, either of those two wouldn't be too bad.
Darwin Núñez, who was entirely overlooked at the Etihad, looks likely to leave in the summer, with his progress not having matched expectations. Forward line will be reinforced in the summer.
No shit, Paul.
Harvey Elliott must reflect on whether he will be granted playing time at the club.
Yeah, no shit, Paul.
Diaz has 2 years left on his deal, and a move is forever seemingly in the background.
No shit, Paul.
Endo attitude was hailed as an example to everyone by Slot, but will he be happy to continue in a bit part role?
Same as above, no shit, Paul.
I will say that, and I believe this 100%, he's been told this by the club. Like, he's not written this.
Of course he fucking is.
So this has all come out from the club.
Yeah, because wait until the real nitty gritty comes out. Wait until you hear this now, lads, if you haven't already.
Negotiations are continuing with both and Alexander-Arnold, who is wanted by Real Madrid. It is worth remembering that FSG placed football ahead of finance when rejecting a £150 million offer for Salah from the Saudi League in September 2023 and dismissing Real Madrid's chance of signing Alexander-Arnold in January for $20 million.
Like, do you know what I mean? It's like, FSG thought about football before money when they didn't, cough up $2 million for Clint Dempsey. Like, why the fuck are they bringing that shit up? What has that got to do with the price of Kiwis?
Well, if
Like
you
that,
love that one, you're going to love this next one.
yeah, well, that's what I'm gearing up for.
Liverpool are now reaping the dividends, similarly to the decision to not to buy 4 midfielders in the summer of 2023, rather than going all in for Jude Bellingham, has proved to be sound judgment, with McAllister, Gravenberch, Szoboszlai, and Endo all contributing.
Shut the fuck up, Paul. Like seriously, like as Chris N says, for fuck's sake, how much is this lad up FSG's arse? I mean, why don't you see? This is the fucking thing that gets to me, right? When you look at other clubs and other journalists, they ask the real nitty gritty questions. I mean, your man Ange, whatever his name is, from Spurs, they were asking hard hitting questions with him, and they're constantly asking. With us, it's like, well, our FSG great because they didn't spend 100 and something million on Bellingham, and instead they decided to go for Endo, Gravenberch, Szoboszlai, and McAllister, and then let's just not say anything about the fact that we put a bid of 100 and something million for Casado. Let's not mention that. Let's just hope that the fans are dumb enough to fucking take what I've just said and just not question about Casado whatsoever. It to me, it's dumbing down the fan base, and for someone to sell their soul out and sell integrity of journalism and their reporting for to keep their exclusives and to just basically be the owner's messenger boy, which is what Joyce has now become. It's sickening, and that's why, for my own sanity, I avoid that like the plague, because it's the biggest load of bullshit. And if people want to buy into it, go right ahead. Go right ahead. Be my guest. But the further that you drift away from people like that, people like Chris Bashcombe, people like James Pearce, The Athletic, the Fenway Echo, the far more wiser that you become, because you'll hear it from other people what's really going on. And that sort of shit, we don't need to be reminded every 2-3 fucking minutes that we didn't go for Bellingham and we went for these other players. It's just utter cockrot. So, be fucking better, or just, be a mailman, deliver post, do something like that. And I'm not taking away from anyone that actually is a postman or postwoman, but you're delivering FSG's message to the fans, and you're trying to just push this shite onto us. And I'm just sick of fucking hearing about it. Less excuses. Start asking the real fucking questions. Why did Edwards leave? Why did Ward leave? Why are they fucking back? Was it anything to do with Klopp? They would have been the important questions and the obvious questions to ask when they came in. Why did we go for Slot? Why Amarin wasn't right for the job? Why wasn't Alonso? These are questions that you ask. These are questions that you ask. Ask Slot, do you feel the pressure now because you're a Dutch manager and you're now going into the Premier League, one of the biggest, or the biggest, that's the biggest club in the world. You're now managing that. Is there a certain these are certain questions that you ask. None of this, ass licking crap that you get nowadays. It's just, there's no credit in that sort of reporting. None whatsoever. It's copy and paste journalism, and it's cock. But say what you really mean, Sean.
Yeah, right. Tells what you really mean, Sean. Yeah. Brian says that his mate's a jitter postman. It's a dangerous job. He got stamped all on of this man. Not a nice one. So yeah, access media can't be trusted to be credible reporters. Exactly, mate.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I've been saying, Chris.
Oh. Sorry, I had to stretch it back out then. Was there anything else you wanted to discuss, Seano?
Is there any more to that article that I want to vomit on?
That's literally the end of it, mate. That's literally.
Well, I just, it's the same old, same old. I mean, look, at the end of the day, we had a fantastic game yesterday. The momentum is kind of back now. It's really, really hit the momentum is back now, and it's in our hands. It's still in our hands with the win or the month that we've had and the points that we've dropped. Not much has really changed in terms of how the league is. We were 9 points ahead before coming into this month. We're now 11 points, but they have a game in hand. So there's not really much in the difference, to be perfectly honest with you. But obviously, Arsenal have real injury problems. So it's a bit disheartening to actually finish off on a bad one, talking about these stupid journalists, because you'll never get honest reporting from them. You really won't. And they'll never ask the hard-hitting questions that is on the tips of everybody's tongue, and that should be asked. And that's an awful pity. So that's my point on it. Brian is asking for the quiz.
We haven't done a quiz for a bit, mate.
Yeah.
It dropped down in interest, so we kind of put it on the back burner for a little bit. So yeah, that's the reason why we've not seen that for a bit. The journals remind me of when you were younger and went to see Santa. You always told him you were a good boy. I get what you're saying there, mate.
Yeah.
Right. I'm trying to see if there's nothing else news-wise to talk about, mate.
What did Pierce say? Pierce came out with something, didn't he?
Something about Liverpool to receive 2 million Nike bonus if they win the Premier League.
Okay, you might want to remove that bot. Whatever you do, guys, do not click on that. That's a bot.
Well, let me do it. Anyway, on that note then, mate, I'm ready to call it an end there, mate, for that.
Yeah, sorry I've not been really at the races today, to be honest with you. But look, I mean, great results. Fantastic stuff with Toby. Really, really positive stuff. I know that Toby wasn't, he wasn't feeling 100%, but fair play that he that they had TikTok people on it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it was a bit weird, to be honest with you. They even had like a tag team. They had a tag team boxing fight. I was like, what the fuck's this about? But yeah, it was really interesting. It was in the Adelphi in Liverpool, which is a bit of a peculiar place to have it. But it was, fair play to him.
Nice
Is
one.
the stream going to be on the playlist to watch from start?
Yeah,
yes,
mate. Yeah. Yeah, it will be, mate. Yeah,
100%.
So yeah, that was basically it, guys. So thanks for watching, guys. Should we do a match preview together for the Newcastle game? If you can.
When you put it that way, I mean, how would I resist?
Oh, well, me and Sean will be back tomorrow then for a little bit. We're back tomorrow to do a match preview, guys.
Yeah.
And then we'll have the match reaction on Wednesday. Anything that pops off news-wise, I'll be back again, obviously, to cover it like I've done today in the videos I've done over the weekend as well. Catch up on all of them. Yeah, mate.
We haven't reminded them about the spot prize for March. Which we need to do that. So guys, just while Adam is looking for that, so the spot prize, this is the prize for a VIP member. You pay $1.99 or $2.99 per month. The draw is the 1st of March, and you win that prize if you want to stick that up again.
It's the Gakpo design. It's really good, to be fair. It's from my lad on Twitter. We follow each other and stuff like that. And I've got another one as well. So yeah, what time tomorrow? Probably same time, 7.
Baz, Jesus Christ, he's only come back. Baz must have been working hard there today. All right, Baz, how are you? Great win yesterday. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. I was in the pub. So yeah, anyone that wants to partake in those spot prices, $1.99 or $2.99 per month. Those who pay $2.99, I think they get an opportunity to come on here and chat if they want.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
don't have to show their face, but we have a spot prize every month, and you get to win something. You know, it's the Liverpool channel that gives something back. You know, without telling you, that we're sponsored by Manscaped and here's how you to shave your balls and all of that shit. We don't do that. No, none of that. I had a lucky escape with Manscaped. I'll be looking for my money back. Some really hard stuff there, I'll tell you that for nothing. Jesus Christ. Fuck me.
Right then, guys, that's it from us. We're back again tomorrow at 7 after Seano's ball story. The stream will be up after this, guys, so you can keep watching. Hope you have a good evening, guys, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.
Cheers.